Yo, it's your man with the plan, Marx and Lars here to talk about Withering Waves. Just to let you know, clear the room. I am a day one Genshin player. I am a day one Honkai Star Rail player. I played Nikkei for a while now, and I have also played Archery Code. But if you're not over 18, don't look up that one. That was for the adults there. Okay. Now that I said that, probably people gonna look it up, but that's not my fault. That's all on you. So I play a few gacha games, and I put a decent amount of money in these games, especially Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. I have most of the characters, by accident or not, I have most of the characters in both of those games. So I'm definitely looking forward to games that are very similar to Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. But, you know, hopefully I'll have to put that much money into it. But I'm kind of here just to talk about Wuthering Waves. I haven't gone through the closed beta test, and honestly, I'm glad I didn't. I kind of want to go through it blind. I want to have blind opinion about everything. I do know a few things because I wanted to see if the game was for me or people were just talking. So I do know a few things about how the game's structured, the story, how the combat works, etc. But I kind of just want to give you my first impressions from the marketing and what I'm hearing from other people. And like I said, this is not going to be a deep dive or anything like that. And honestly, I don't know much about the game, so I could be wrong about a lot of this stuff, but I'm going to definitely try it out and see if my fears are exaggerated with how I feel about this game. My fears and my hopes. So I'm just gonna casually go through just how the characters look. Overall, I am happy with the characters look because I love having for the most part, an all adult cast, and they look really cool. But I have a few nitpicks here and there with a lot of the design choices and how the game's art style is going. I think from what I heard is a post-apocalyptic style game, so I know it's supposed to be a little bit more grayscaled than usual. But I gotta say, the characters, compared to a lot of other gacha games and a lot of other character designs in other games, is definitely very muted. There's something muted about their designs for sure. Like, especially the ones that were in the game that aren't limited 5 stars. Like this, the base cast that isn't the dragon guy that with the green hair. I don't know anybody's name. Like I said, I'm gonna learn that as the time goes on. The red hair girl, and then I think 2 new characters came out today and yesterday to look at. Like everyone else that aren't those 4 characters are kind of muted. I think there's one red hair chick and one pink hair chick that are kind of colorful too. But other than that, there's not a lot of color in the cast. It's almost like they turned the color down a little bit on them. And then the second thing I got to say about their designs, there are a lot of black and white designs, very light black and white designs, because there's no deep blacks I don't see, but it's a lot of like black haired with black and white outfit that's very, very light black. Or a person with white hair with a very dark outfit that's like a little bit darker than the people with the black hair. And then I don't know, it's like I was looking at the character designs closely to really get what I was trying to say down correctly, but it just seems like I feel like half the cast is black and white for sure. And then the rest of them are kind of muted. I hope, and it seems like the rest of the cast is coming out after that is not like that, but that was a thing right there. But I gotta say, the designs they do have outside of the color schemes are sick as hell. I think it's a little try hard, but I think they're sick as hell. I really think I like, my favorite has to be, I think his name is Jin Yan or something. The dragon guy, but like I said, he's one of the limited ones I think are a little different. I think it's Yilin or Yailin. I'm sorry, I had to learn their names because I haven't seen the gameplay, but I'm definitely looking into her. The one girl I am looking at is this pink hair girl. I think I was talking about her earlier, but she has like cat ears maybe, or a bow on the back of her head. I need to look at let me bring up the cast right here. Yeah, she has like a bow or cat ears. And I'm also looking forward to the main character looks cool as hell. I think the female version of him looks way better than the male. But his name, Alto. Alto looks sick as hell too. So I do have some favorites in there, but I'm definitely not super as excited as I was when I look at some of the other gacha games casts as I look at. But But you know, I think they're going to rectify it as time goes on. So that's all about character design on that end. As for gameplay, I think the gameplay looks sick as hell. I'm ready to just like I think it's going to be a lot different than Genshin, because people are comparing this game to Genshin, the gameplay, but they're completely different. Because Genshin is more of like a element. It's more of like a status element system where if you add this element and this element and this element, increases damage, freezes the enemy, slows down the enemies. It's more of like a status effect system. And this game's more of like combat. It's a lot more skill based in this system, I can tell. So I'm really looking into that. The only concern I have about the gameplay for sure, well, there's two things. I'm concerned that just like how I feel in Genshin and a few other games are open world, at some point when you're farming, I hope it's not that the enemies are really hard and challenging, but sometimes you just want to get the farming out the way. Hopefully they have a system for that. Maybe they do in the game already, but that's the biggest concern I think I have in the game. I hope that it's challenging, but I hope they can turn that challenging part off when you're just trying to get the materials for your dang character, and not have to go over here and sweat 10 times to get the right build for the characters. So I hope that's not the case. And then the second problem I have, I was watching it. Like I said, I was trying to see the games for me. I watched a little bit of gameplay, and the enemies seem a tiny bit sparse. A tiny bit. They don't seem like they're too sparse, but they do seem like, if you play a lot of games, I'm just using Genshin because that's the closest game they're comparing it to. It definitely needs a little bit more enemy density. Honestly, sometimes I wish Genshin had a little bit more enemy density too. So I like a game with a little bit more dense enemy, especially if the game's on the easier side. So I hope there's a little bit more enemy density. Hopefully that's just not my imagination when I was looking at maybe the 30 minutes of gameplay I saw. But other than that, I think the game's going to be sick. I think the combat's going to be the best thing about the game for sure. I've heard things about the story, but I heard they're changing things about the story, so I won't speak too much on that. I just hope that it isn't the way some of their competitors do stories, because I feel like a lot of times, a lot of gacha games do stories where they're like the core that you're in is great. Like if you play Nikkei, like the first arc is great, the second arc is great, but in the third arc is great. But when you try to mix them, all three of them together, it's kind of a weird story. And I hope that's not the case with this game as well, because especially the competitors, like I have complaints about Honkai Star Rail story, have problems with Nikkei story sometimes, but Nikkei is the best story I would say of all the 3 games I played so far. Genshin has a great story as well, but I feel like it's bogged down by character interactions. And Honkai Star Rail is the opposite. I believe it has great character interactions, but the story is kind of like, I don't know what the hell's happening in the overarching story. So like I said, I'm really looking forward to the story and see what improvements they have, but I've heard some people didn't really like it that much, and I heard a lot of the character stories were like better versions of what some of the competitors have. So I'm really looking forward to that, just to see if it's corrected to the way I think I want to see some stuff, because if it's on some good writings, if it's even half as good as some of the stuff I've seen just casually, I hope it entertains me. As the gacha systems, I'm not worried about that. I already know it's probably better than some of the stuff I already deal with. So I can just tell by when they're talking about the weapon banner, I'm like, oh, yep, this game has a better gacha system. I just hope the currency isn't light. But overall, I think it's very promising. Very, very promising. I believe I will probably either start the game by myself and then start... well, I don't know. It depends on the reception on this video and everything else. I'll probably either start the game by myself and start playing the very beginning with you guys, or I'll play the very beginning with you guys and just kind of like come on and off on stream whenever I feel like I want to play it with you guys. But I'm really excited. I'm a lot more excited than I was before, because I was even going to play it originally. And then they started showing some of the 5 stars and some of the plans they had outside of the beta test. I just followed their social media account to see what they're doing, and I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. So I hope everything works out. Tell me what you're most excited. What are you most worried about for the game, and what are you the most excited about for the game? It's just like, you know, just the positive and negative of it. Because like I said, I kind of said what I thought, and I really appreciate everybody who came to this video, that's listened all the way through. I hope everything works out well with you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you take care of yourselves and be safe on the streets. So I'll definitely talk to you guys later. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.